It's called ovulation, and it occurs, on average, every 28 days. For most days of the month, the entrance to the womb, the cervix, is covered by a protective lubricant. Now, however, the coating becomes thin and clear, creating fern-like patterns when it dries. This ferning indicates that the woman is at the most fertile time of her cycle. Human beings, unlike most other mammals, can engage in sexual intercourse at any time, although usually the female can conceive only about 2 days following ovulation. The process by which two individuals combine their genes to create a third is wondrous and complex, and potentially hazardous to the unborn at virtually every step. The man's contribution, sperm, enter the woman in prodigious numbers, 200 to 500 million in a normal ejaculate. For up to 3 days, their thrashing tails propel them forward. Millions will die in the vagina, and many more at every stage of the journey as they race to reach and fertilize an egg. The largest cell in the body, the ovum, or egg, moves along the fallopian tube toward its destiny. If it is not fertilized, it will die and be expelled with the next menstrual flow. Only a few thousand sperm will enter the fallopian tube, and less than 500 will reach the egg. There can be only one winner, for as soon as one sperm penetrates, the egg will reject all others. About 30 hours later, the egg divides in two, each new cell sharing the genetic contributions of both parents. Now called the zygote, the fertilized egg continues dividing as it moves along the fallopian tube toward the uterus. About a week after fertilization, the zygote enters the womb and implants in the uterine wall. Its cells divide and multiply, and in one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in nature, begin to differentiate, to become organs, bones, muscle, hair. Some cells begin to contract rhythmically, and when they make contact, they synchronize. Soon, groups of pulsating cells link up and begin to form the muscles of the heart. 28 days after fertilization, inside an embryo about the size of a small pea, a tiny heart beats. About 2 weeks have passed since the woman missed her menstrual period. A sample of her blood plasma goes through a laboratory test that confirms, by a chemical reaction turning blue in a test tube, that she is pregnant.
A lot of women will find that when they become pregnant.
Guidelines for the next 8 months are offered by an obstetrician. Proper diet and exercise, avoidance of drugs, including alcohol, caffeine, tobacco, all contributors to premature delivery, low birth weight, and infant mortality.
Having 3 big meals in a day that should be more comfortable having 6 smaller meals.
Five and a half weeks have passed since fertilization. In its dark, water-filled world, the embryo begins to look less like a tadpole. Rounded paddles will develop into arms and legs. Dark spots on either side of the head will become eyes. The nostrils are mere grooves on what will become the face. Blood is now produced by the liver, the red organ below the heart. Although gender was determined at conception, there is no way of seeing whether the embryo is male or female. It is a half-inch long. The next 3 weeks will see rapid growth. The tiny paddle will develop into a recognizable hand with fingerprints and footprints different from all others in the world. By 8 weeks, almost everything is in place. The embryo has become a fetus. Less than 2 inches long, the fetus twitches, but the movement is so slight that the woman cannot feel it. Following her doctor's advice, she does regular exercise.
Arms up.
Good muscle tone will help make pregnancy more comfortable and will ease delivery.
5 steps.
By the time she gives birth, her breasts will double in volume. Her uterus will grow 20-fold. She will have an extra quart of blood and will have gained about 25 pounds.
Don't let your arms swing. Play steps.
Totally isolated from the outside world, the fetus begins to take on a more human appearance. At 12 weeks, it is about 3 inches long from crown to rump. Soon, a white waxy secretion forms to protect the skin against the softening effect of the amniotic fluid. Eyebrows are beginning to grow, and it has well-developed hands and fingernails. Now, the external evidence of gender is clearly visible. The tiny ovaries in the female fetus have been active since the 12th week and now contain millions of immature eggs. In the 18th week, more than half its journey still lies ahead. About this time, the mother may get her first look at her fetus, a shadowy image on a video screen.
Baby's spine in the back there. That's the baby's head. Baby right now is facing directly backwards.
So exciting.
You can see that the baby's back is down along over there. And here's the thigh and the shin and the foot. Baby's sort of in a racing position, all ready to start a sprint.
Unbelievable.
Scanning her abdomen with ultrasound provides the obstetrician with vital information about the fetus's health and its positioning in the womb. At 24 weeks, the woman can tell when the fetus sleeps and when it is active. Now it is able to hear, and its hitherto silent world will be filled with the sounds of its mother's heartbeat and stomach gurgles, and the strange noises coming from the outside that filter through into its watery environment. But of them all, it will be with its mother's voice that it will form a special bond.
I think there'll be more growth.
No one knows precisely what it is that tells the mother's body it is time for her baby to be expelled from the warmth and safety of the womb. Giving birth may bring excruciating pain and ineffable joy. For some women, it is the most profound experience of their lives. As it has for countless generations, the flow of human life continues. It happens nearly 400,000 times every day, Each new life endowed with a unique genetic inheritance. For some, tragedy awaits, but most will survive. Those born in affluent societies will live in exciting times, when science and technology provide bold new ways to enhance the human body, its health, and its life.